Skittle bebop, we rock a Scooby-Doo. And guess what? America, we love you. Because you rock in a row with us so much so you can rock till you're 101 years old. I don't mean to brag, I don't mean to boast, but we're like hot butter on a breakfast toast. Rock it out, a baby bubba.
What's going on, guys? No. We're not sponsored. You can't show that.
They don't start the show yet.
I gotta blur that out. Thanks for giving me more work.
What up, guys? This is Chris, and
I'm Rico,
and this is
Popping Through Culture. On this episode, we are talking about Avengers Twilight, the finale of Avengers Twilight.
Yeah.
Basically, I wanted to talk about it because of the storyline of how it kind of really revolves around like our current events of life and like what's going on in the world, and it really especially the issue 6 kind of really brought it home as far as what's happening in our current current affairs, current landscape with the political parties and stuff like that. And I know how much Rico loves talking about political stuff in comic books.
No, this actually wasn't bad. The old X-Men, that was a shit show. It was like, that was bad writing, and it was confusing. We had people die, come back, and then we had people bounce in and out. It was just, you couldn't keep track of what was going on between the X-Men gold, blue, yellow, red, black,
turquoise.
Yeah, right. And it's like, come on, man. How about we just give us X-Men, or Uncanny, bring that back. But we got to have all these other variations of X-Men, almost like what the Spider-Verse is doing. There's so many different versions of Spider-Man. It's like, come on.
When you have an infinite amount of multiverses, you're bound to be a little crazy, and I have too much gas from NOS.
But the difference with X-Men and Spider-Man is you have multiple comics of X-Men, and they're all in the same universe to the point where they start to overlap each other, and they don't run with the continuity of every other.
Yes, the storyline can you're like, wait a minute, I just read. He's over there, but now he's over here. Like, wait, what? Yeah. So when you have multiple storylines and you have multiple writers and they're not in sync or talking to each other, or like when they release books, whenever they want to release books, so now you're like ahead and you're behind and you're like left and right. It can get crazy. I mean, that's the nature of comic books. When you have multiple stories, multiple artists, multiple writers who write all those books. But
in some episodes of the X-Men, I remember, it wasn't really so much of the political aspect of it. It was just a nonstop, like, monologues. Like, there would be a whole comic of just Professor X talking to someone that's not even there in front of him. They're just having
because he didn't have Magneto tell him, shut the...
Yeah. And it was just like, where's the action? I just read this thing. It's overwriting.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of still images, a lot of flat color backgrounds, and it's just lazy artists when it comes to that. I think the worst thing a comic book can do is give you a panel of characters, and then in the background just make it a color. Like, give me a setting.
It's called a splash page.
That's not a splash page. A splash page is something that goes across the entire, from one side to the next. That's called lazy art. When you do that, just scribble in 2 characters and then make the whole background one color.
Well, it may not be lazy art, more like speedy deadlines, where they're trying to push out multiple issues.
When they phone stuff in,
or low budget, kind of like Dragon Ball in the issue 3 of Dragon Ball Super. But anyway, I'm going off topic. Okay. Anyway, back to Avengers Twilight. That being said, let's roll the intro.
Poppin' with the culture.
Pop it like it's hot.
Poppin' with the culture.
Pop it like it's hot. Taking it top until the top. Now you're ready to pop. Look up in the sky. It's a bird or a plane. No! It's Rico driving Chris insane. Talking about Spider-Man, Batman, Joker, Mary Jane. Keeping it real. Men of Steel with their comic book game.
Poppin' with the culture.
Pop it like it's hot.
Poppin' with the culture.
Pop it like it's hot.
Keeping it real. Men of Steel with their comic book game. With their comic book game. With their comic book game.
Wow.
That was a very long intro.
Yeah, but I think it was supposed to be that long.
Right?
It was meant to. It was
that was a good
I liked
warm up.
Yeah, because we didn't agree.
That was
well,
good.
we agreed, but we didn't agree on a lot of things.
Yeah, well, anyway.
I like that. That's awesome. Hey, what's up? Welcome back.
Welcome back. That was a very long warm up, Rico.
Hey, man. Yeah, it was in my loins.
Right? You had to get it out. Say with your chest.
That's it with the chest.
Say with your chest. So anyway, Avengers Twilight, guys. If you have not read this run of book, the storyline. It's a great storyline, good take on it of the Avengers, and it's set in the future, in like a distant future, alternate timeline. And you have all the Avengers, all the superheroes, pretty much disband. You have a cap on social media. There's no videotaping, there's no recording, and everything like that. So they're pretty much like in a totality or some kind of the landscape where they can't record, they can't post things, stuff like that. It's like against the law.
Yeah.
So seriously against the law. And then you have Tony Stark, who's believed to be deceased.
Yeah, he's just a head floating in a jar.
Yeah, he's a head floating in a jar. We come to find out, I think, in issue 3, that James, his son, is harboring his head to give him some more knowledge, so he can build the stuff and everything. Mm-hmm. You get Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's pretty much retired and like he's depowered, I guess, almost to say. Yeah. Because he doesn't really have the super serum is not running through him anymore, where he has to get a booster shot to so he can be Captain America again. You get Iron Fist in there.
Tell him about Luke Cage.
Iron Fist.
Well, yeah, that's Iron Fist, but Luke Cage, they're two different people.
Oh. Yes, Luke Cage. Sorry, I'm thinking Power Man.
Yeah, Power Man.
Power Man. Yes. So Power Man. Luke Cage is in there, and he's basically like almost a cripple. Like he's like
stone.
He's all hardened, like from I guess his powers. So he's basically he can't even barely move. He's in like crutches or like some kind of apparatus to help him move and get around. And it's like really speaks to the current affairs where social media is being stopped. They portray the Avengers as villains. They put up this whole. They create a new set of Avengers, but it's really a hologram. So they're projecting fake news. Yeah. They have H Day, which if you read comics and try to like put 2 and 2 together after issue 1, I was like, that's definitely going to be Hulk Day. Yeah. We come to find out in issue 5. That it winds up being the Hulk winds up going on a rampage because of Ultron. Yeah. And because they wind up twisting his mind and everything, so he's then held captive. I think, is it below the White House? Yes. Yeah, he's held captive down there.
Well, on the first episode, or first issue, one of the things that set the tone for me for this story wasn't so much how everyone was aged. We can tell that as soon as we open the first page. Steve Rogers is an old man. But the flashback to H-Day, where they show young Peter Parker, when they show the Avengers get to New York and Peter Parker's already there, ground zero. Well, New York is just rubble. Yeah. And Peter Parker dies. Like, I feel as though when Chip Zdarsky started writing this comic book, he goes, how can I really let people know that I'm not playing around? This comic book is going to be a serious matter. Let's take out the Peter Pan of Marvel. Let's kill the youngest person, the most innocent person, the child love person. Let's just take out Spider-Man on the 3rd page. And for me, I was just like, wow, like, okay, this time to buckle up and go for this ride, because if he can get it, like, no one is safe,
Yeah, we wind up finding Thor's off-world. Yeah. So, but then he winds up eventually coming back because they wind up... Luke Cage winds up getting the serum for Steve Rogers. Yes. Powers him back up. He puts on the old Stars and Stripes. The Stars and Stripes, go with the classic. Right. And then they wind up going to the raft, I believe. Because that's where James Stark is holding his father in a tub of jelly. Yeah. And then we come to find out that that person that was his a caretaker, right? The Jarvis character was coming to find out that is
Red Skull.
Red Skull. And it's kind of like a swap, but then he doesn't care. You realize he's like, okay, you're a Red Skull, and he just kind of was like, okay, I guess you're Red Skull. You've been taking care of me this whole time.
Yeah, what am I going to say?
It's like, what am I going to say? You know, it's kind of like, you know, Donald Trump. You know, you get you get this character, you know, this person who was supposed to like bring the country up and, you know, do this kind of evolution of the country, and then to turn and say, you know, do all these negative things, but people are still like, okay, you know, and not say anything, not say boo, and let him continue doing all the things he does. So I saw that parallel so much to real life, to the comic book. I was like, wait a minute, is art imitating life? Kind of those things.
Okay.
And then stopping the social media, and because what he's talking about in real life to stop all these things, you know, they want to do a stop to TikTok, they want to do stop of, you know, all these you know, social medias and stuff like that, and do all these bans. That's what real life would be leading up into the book. The book is showing, you know, where is art imitating life, and then life then imitating art. Where how many times we've seen in movies where like, oh, this celebrity is the president, right? And we got a celebrity that became president.
Yeah, but that's not the first celebrity.
Yeah, no. But you have other celebrities. You know, you have Ace Ventura. You know, right? No, not Ace Ventura. Jesse Ventura became the governor. You had in Michigan,
Can
right?
you imagine that?
No.
Ace Ventura
Yeah,
with
right.
his butt cheeks. Welcome, my fellow Americans.
Welcome. Oh. Hello. Right. You know, you have Arnold as the governor of California. So you have all these people just because at the end of the day, you still think of, you got to realize they are still people outside of off the screen.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, well, you know them as a celebrity, right? So I think art likes to imitate life, and then in turn, life imitates art without knowing so, right? So the book really spoke to me about that. I was like, oh, like I mean, I'm like, I feel like we're in this story.
Kinda. Yeah. The one thing that I did not, or no, I wouldn't say I didn't dislike the comic book. There's one thing I wish that we could have had with this comic book is these last 5 issues or 6 issues.
6.
I wish we would have gotten the first issue should have been H Day, you know, how did it happen, and then we get, you know.
But that would have been a flashback, and you don't like flashbacks.
Well, that's why I'm saying make it an issue 1, and then have these
issue 0
or issue 0, and have these like give us a 10 or 12 part series, and half of that can be present, and then this last 6 can be timed forward, you know, so we can see, well, why are these characters the way they are? What in the world happened to make social society come to this, you know? And I feel like we got thrown into a story and we had to accept what we were reading instead of we didn't have, well, once again, because like the characters in the story, we didn't have a choice. We just had this is it.
This is your life now.
Yeah, this is your life. This is what you're doing for about 15 minutes a day now.
So would you think it would have been good if they did it like Ultimate Summer 4, where they did the flashback to Reed Richards, how they were telling his origin story, and back and forward in an issue?
No, I think it should have been like I think it should have been a 12-part series, and we should have got issue 1, 2, 3, 4. We should have got that. Should have been the past. Leading up to this future.
Okay.
Or the present leading up to this future.
Okay.
And then let 6 be that bridge that links up what happened after Peter Parker passes away. What happened? How did they get the Hulk into the underground? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like who did it? Did Thor do it?
See, now you want a flashback, and now
No, but I didn't want a flashback. I feel as though that should have been
a lead up to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we should have got like a 12-part series, a 13-part series, and this should have been the second half of that story.
Maybe that's the prequel series. So we'll have like do a Star Wars bit.
Oh, bro, when they go backwards or forward,
they go backwards or forward.
That's confusing. Don't do that.
Just
Don't
saying.
do that.
Could be a
disagree with that. I'm just saying, I disagree with that. But
yeah, go ahead.
But overall, I thought the color. What I really liked the most about this comic book is how it was drawn. I've never seen a comic book drawn that way before. The bright illuminated colors. how the outline was sketchy but not sketchy, and in some ways, some panels, the art, the coloring actually went outside the line. It was very edgy comic book. Some would say it was chaos, but it was a well placed chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a perfect disaster. I would say in every panel, and the story, like I was saying, not a flimsy story, but we kind of discussed it. There was in between issue 1 and 6. There was a lot of characters that were just thrown in there for just for sake of a page.
Like your buddy Hawkeye.
Yeah, I don't know about this Lady Hawkeye. Is that the son of the daughter of Frank Castle, or is that like a granddaughter of Kate Bishop? Like she has like a Punisher tattoo, but she's a Hawkeye. What is she? But then before we get to know, she's gone.
Yeah, well,
you know?
Yeah, she's not like well, she is a player in the last issue. She takes like the fatal shot to the Red Skull, right?
Yeah.
She's like, give me an opening, because we get Jane Van Dyne back, right? The last few panels, she comes back. She I couldn't tell. I kept going back and forth. Is she coming?
Yeah.
Is she coming out of that unit that they were working on? Because all of a sudden she's like, they're fighting, and then like, oh, don't do that, and then oh, what's gonna happen? And then all of a sudden she's like huge. She comes out of nowhere. She's like, and
Hold up, was that Ms. Marvel?
no, that was Kate. Here, let me see. Hold on, guys. We're doing a live recap here. This is how we do it on Pop Culture.
Is that what?
Yeah, right here.
That?
See what's happening. Right here's this. There we go. Let me go back one more page. Oh, the ring. Like
What's the last issue?
Yeah, it's the last issue. So like the ring.
The last issue is amazing. This epic battle.
And then she like comes out of the ring, like she was like inside the ring.
Yeah. Like I was mentally exhausted after I read the last issue of this comic book. And it was a perfect send-off to every character. Characters died, characters went away, some just went on with their lives. It was a perfect ending to a Marvel comic book.
It's like nonstop. It's like Endgame.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
It's like Endgame.
And these are thick books. These are some flimsy books, man. These are good. Like let's just. Do you remember the last episode? The last issue?
I just read it. Yeah.
Like you just kind of skimmed through it. Like, well, obviously Thor kills Hawk, which I was confused by. Like, how could Thor kill Hawk? Like he can't. Well, first of all,
yes, that was very confusing. Like
they fought all over the planet. By the way,
yeah, all over the place, and then like drowns him.
Yeah, he drowns him, and then Bruce kind of takes over for a second and says, "I can't stop him. Kill me."
Well, yes, before he goes to the water, he's like, "Yeah, help! I can't stop him, whatever."
And
because Thor keeps pleading to Banner, like, "Stop doing this! You don't want the heat."
Yeah,
because I think at that time he's Thor Odin's son, like King Thor.
Yeah.
So he has he's much stronger, and then so he drowns him in the ocean, right? But I was like, I thought what?
How do you kill the Hulk?
He drowns him.
That's not possible.
I mean, he can't breathe on the water.
Well, Mr. Comic Book Nerd here knows in the 1980s, whenever the Hulk did enter the water, he grew gills so he could breathe.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I do for a living.
That's something. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
I figured it out as I go. But yeah, so it's like
I was thinking he was going to just leave Mjolnir on him to hold him down, and so he couldn't get up.
I would have accepted that.
And I would be like, okay,
I utterly accepted that.
I was like, oh, just keep him down there because he can't lift Mjolnir.
Nope. I would have honestly been like, okay, perfect. That's how you defeat the Hulk.
Yeah.
You just put Mjolnir up his ass and let him just paperweight him to the seabed.
Yeah.
I love it. Yep, I'm down with that. But that's not how it happened. It was an explosion, and the next thing you know, Odin's son, Thor, he leaves. He's gone. And then the next panel, you see since Thor Banner dies, which I thought was crazy, but he went to Valhalla.
Valhalla, yeah.
Which I was like, why is he in Valhalla?
Because he's dead.
Yeah, but it's like
because Odin does a favor because remember he's back. They're back on Asgard, and he's like, oh
yeah.
He's like, oh, you have a friend's waiting for you, and he's like, what? And so then he goes to Valhalla because he's a god, so he's able to go to Valhalla, and he sees him, and he's like, and he goes, oh, everyone keeps laughing at me because I keep asking for a non-alcoholic beverage.
Because he was talking to Tony, because Tony Stark went to Valhalla as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think Tony Stark went to Valhalla in his Iron Man suit.
Yes, and then like
he was just a head.
Yeah, because he's in his armor, and then Banner's in like kind of like almost like an Iron Man armor, but like an Asgardian armor.
Yeah,
he's like in this purple green Asgardian armor, which is pretty cool. And he's like, I just want a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, so they just chill out with the bar all day. Yeah, so like, what a perfect ending to Banner and Stark. They're best friends anyway. Well, they're two top.
Hitters.
I have a question. It kind of goes off topic.
Okay.
When it comes down to the intelligence of the MCU and people, of characters,
yep.
You got Bruce Banner, you got Tony Stark, you got Reed Richards, you got Peter Parker, and then you have...
you also have Black Panther, who's smart.
No, I would say Shuri.
Oh, Shuri, yeah.
And then you have Moon Girl.
I don't know too much of Moon Girl, so I couldn't give you any information on
from my perspective, my opinion.
Or Riri, too. No, she's
I would say she's smart, but not like genius. Like, it's not her power to be smart, It's just I happen to be very smart, and I can make an Iron Man suit. But I'm not smart enough to make Mach 1, 2, 3, and then continually enhance it.
You're asking what's the levels?
Yeah, I think Moon Girl's the smartest person in the universe.
And what about Doctor Doom? Because him and Reed fight for on par of who's smarter. It's always Reed's leading, then Doctor Doom ones ups him, and then Reed's like, nah.
Well, like I think Doom is smart because of his ability, and he's a master of the mystic arts. So his intelligence mixed with his power gives him that edge. But like Peter Parker, he's just intelligent. Yep. Well, he's obviously Spider-Man, but I'll take that away from him. He would just be intelligent.
Yes.
I was saying, I think Moon Girl is the smartest because she built a time machine, and she's only 7. And like the way I look at it is like one she's 7 or 8.
Oh, Valeria. Don't forget Valeria.
I don't know
Valeria Richards.
Oh yeah, the daughter. Is she smart?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I look at it like
she works on like probability and Reed bounces a lot of his experiments off of Valeria and she gives a feedback of what the outcome would be and stuff like that. So yeah.
But like
which is also Doom's goddaughter.
Yeah. But like just to wrap it up, like the way I'm looking at it is Peter Parker is 14 and he's a genius. Or 15. And he's a genius. By the time he is Tony Stark's age, the level of intelligence that he's going to consume, like he's going to be smarter than Tony Stark when he was that age. So, and then you have basically a genius Moon Girl who not only can time travel, built a time machine, but built also an interspatial or something like that time machine where she can time travel through dimensions, not just present to future time. So, and she can control a dinosaur with her mental, with her brain. And she's only like maybe somewhere between 7 and 12 years old. So by the time she's 18 to 21 to 30,
she'll exponentially be.
She's gonna be the smartest person on the planet.
Got it.
So like I don't know. I think it's between Riri. No, sorry. I think it's between
Reed Richards.
Nope.
Tony Stark.
Nope. Peter Parker.
Peter Parker.
Black Panther's daughter.
A
sister. Shuri.
And
Moon Girl. I think it's those are the top 3 smartest people in the MCU. or well, yeah, in the MCU or Marvel Comics.
Okay.
The longevity of them.
Got it.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to go way off script.
Way off
But
script.
it was something I was thinking about as I was reading these comics, and I just wanted to get it off my chest. Sometimes I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah.
And I needed to let it out.
Okay.
And that's what you're here for, right?
Hi. And you guys.
And you guys.
And you guys, and hopefully you guys stuck around for that.
Oh, wow.
We went way off script.
Hey, man.
I'm glad we have a time schedule here.
So,
that being said, guys, I hope you guys let us know if you read this issue, this series of books of Avengers Twilight.
Yeah.
Issues 1 through 6.
I'll let you know.
Make sure you guys pick it up at your local comic book store. If not, I believe they have it digital copy.
Don't talk like that. No, we don't talk about that. Two things we don't talk about. Digital copies and Smallville. That's it.
I knew you were going to say that too.
Smallville.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for this episode of Popular Culture. Again, I'm Rico.
What? Oh, I'm Chris.
This is Popular Culture. See you guys next time.
Yeah, you got the lead on this one. All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Can I press play?